Greetings to you all, and I do welcome you to this broadcast. I know it's an unusual hour. I'm never, ever on at this hour, but I would not retire to my bed without speaking to a very, very, an extremely eventful period in our country. As you join the broadcast, please indicate to me whether you hear me clearly or you see me clearly. I'm wearing my earpiece, so let me know whether you hear me clearly. The earbuds are in my ears, so and that's an effort for you to have the best audio quality for this broadcast. I told you, I have been telling you that our nation is in trouble. Kindly check on YouTube. If you're on YouTube as well, just let me know whether you hear me clearly and see me clearly on YouTube because we stream it to both platforms. If you are on Facebook, please feel free to join or to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which would be Nigel London TV. I think that's it. And you can subscribe. There's a notification bell. If you tap on that bell, you'll be notified when I upload content to YouTube as well. Guyanese, I have said to you all that as a nation, we are in trouble. Thank you, Ainsworth. I've been saying to you all for quite a while that we are in trouble. We are in peril. Guyana has never, you could talk about the 60s being with the uprising and persons killing each other and all that. That was not as bad as it is now. Guyana is in crisis, in a critical, dire need of adjustments. We have so many matters to deal with. We have a matter whereby the elections, where the PPP said that Hanuman said that he has 1,000 witnesses to prove there was cheating on the part of Mingo. He cannot produce 5 of credence. And now in the Matthew hearing, someone said that Rasul, she was present in a room with PPP members. They were then the opposition and others with pencils and paper and ballot paper and statements of poll. She said that she witnessed criminal activities and never reported to the police. She gave an Anand statement. Tomorrow, Melissa and Atwell, her matter would be heard. And I want to begin with that. We get to the PPPs saying they have evidence in a minute, but I want to show you connections here. Anil Nandalal is a part of the administration. They're not the government. Guyana is governed by the people through representation. And in that representation, you've got the administration and you've got what is called the official opposition. That's constitutional language I'm speaking to. And in the official opposition of this country, there are members of parliament who are led by what is called the leader of the opposition. In our unique situation, there is someone whose name is David Arthur Granger, who is the head of the list for the Apnoe FC coalition. He is not in the House of Assembly. He's not in what you call parliament. He has no political activities that are visible to us, apart from controlling every member of parliament's presence in the House of Assembly. He has the list in reference to the leadership role of it, and he determines who goes and who doesn't go, not Aubrey Norton. Further to our unique situation, historical situation, we have Bharat Jagdeo, who's the General Secretary of the PPP, not Irfan Ali. Bharat Jagdeo is the leader of the list for the PPP, and he's not the president of this country in reference to the one who sits in the seat of the president, though he is leading the country. And Irfan Ali cannot remove anybody from the House of Assembly because Irfan Ali is not the leader of the list for the PPP. Bharat Jagdeo is. So we have 2 major parties that they're called. Neither is functioning in any manner that's sensible in reference to who's in the House of Assembly. Bauer Jagdeo claims that they had no knowledge of Melissa and Atwell being detained by ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement in the USA. They didn't know. When it's standard protocol that if the US were told the Guyanese they have an agreement, they must inform the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that they have a Guyanese national under their watch who is detained, and they also are supposed to inform, in most instances, the cause for the. The night is an interesting night. Hopefully you can hear me well again. I'm back. Am I back? Is it good? Someone on YouTube, please indicate. Someone on Facebook, kindly indicate as to whether you hear me clearly again. Okay, we're back. Good. Bauer Jagdeo said that the PPP had no knowledge of Melissa and Atwell being detained. When he's suggesting, therefore, that the people at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which would be Utah and by extension Robert Prasad, they never told him because they had to be informed. Somebody at the consulate in the USA, somebody at the embassy in Washington, D.C., nobody informed Jagdeo. Barrett wants to suggest that these people are compulsive liars. By the way, I'll show you how much they lie further, how much more this disingenuous they really are. Now, take a look at this. At the same time, you get U.S. Congresswoman's criticism of Guyana, draws sharp response from Attorney General. By the way, this lady was speaking to, Yvette Clarke was speaking to Mark Benchchop, and she was addressing the matter regarding Ms. Ann Atwell being detained because she is a congresswoman. And the PPP seems to be forgetting that the United States of America do not have friends, according to what one said. They have interests. And US politicians like those of Guyana, they interact with each other. They're not adversaries. They interact with one another. So Yvette Clarke, being a congresswoman, she's a member of Congress, Anil Nandalal, would be privy to many things, Anil Nandalal. Because just like you all could talk to people across in PNC, you all have all your talks and drink together and stuff like that, they do the same thing. Okay, so let's look at this. Remember Jagdish said he didn't know? So look at Nandalal. How did Miss Clarke, I'm quoting Nandalal here, come to this conclusion that the people would have been involved in what happened to Melissa? She spoke to Atwell and she spoke to Mr. Benchchop. Benchchop is a known critic of the government. Atwell is a loud critic of the government. And listening to the two critical voices without expressing any doubt, she has come to the conclusion that is a travesty. Nandalal also took issue with Clark's dismissal of the broader context surrounding Atwell's actions, including her history of publishing critical and allegedly harmful content online. He described Atwell's social media posts as ridiculing, damaging, and falsehoods about innocent persons, and pointed to the harm caused by her online activities. Look, listen to this. Did she hear, said Nandalal, the voices of those people? No, she didn't. Nandalal continued. This is from their media house, no newsroom. Did she know about the dozens of persons who had to pay money, underlining, I did, so that Atwell would stop publishing malicious and destructive materials? Does she know that Atwell published 20 to 30 posts critical of the government and its ministers over the past 3 years? The Attorney General emphasized that Atwell had enjoyed freedom of speech and publication without interference from the government. And Anil said that. He stated that no legal action was taken to restrict her post. Anil said that. So filing a lawsuit and suing her for 100 million Ghana dollars is not an action taken in the court to stop her from doing it. That's just for her to continue doing what she's doing. Despite the publication of the content that some consider damaging to individuals and the government. Listen to that. So she should not publish any material that's damaging to the government. That's going just sissy law, by the way. That's going just disrespectful, stupid law he signed into called Cyber Crime Act. That's the stupid law that Granger took his pen to sign, to send into law. That foolishness, that you must not be critical of the government, that we're not in North Korea. And they want to say you can have free speech, but you must not encourage people to dislike the government. And the PPP, the Attorney General is saying here, this fellow paid to be Attorney General, that Melissa said things that are damaging to the government. Ms. Clark did not take time to find out about these things, but listened to one side, and concluded that is a travesty, Nandalal said. Are you all hearing me clearly? Bharat Jagdeo said that they had no clue, and therefore they have even no involvement in why Melissa Atwell was detained. But Nandalal is saying that she has done so much damage to people, but they don't know why she was detained. When it is established that an administration can make a request to another nation's administration for a person to be sent home for crimes that they commit. Anil said that Melissa has posted so many things that are damaging and that she took money from people. So you're saying to me that the PPP would not have reported to the USA that this girl, Melissa, is allegedly taking money from persons, so she would stop posting damaging content about them. Anil is telling you all that. So Anil said there's another side to the story. Really, there is. Who heard the other side? I told you all, I will never, ever, I never had respect for them in the first place. But even worse, I cannot respect grown men in the PPP who use the police, who use so many arms of the state, GRA and all of them. Now you're using your political, diplomatic strategies to attack a woman. I would never respect y'all. That is hen behavior. That's a vicious behavior. You're not men. Now I want you all to hear further and to see further what has happened. I told you I'm asking Jagdio and Irfan again. Did you, when you traveled to the US recently, strategically and in a most unusual manner, did you make a special request that you would not be accompanied by Secret Service agents? Tell Guyana to press conference bar drug deal and tell us why. Just after that visit, ICE shows up to detain Melissa and Atwell. And now, when Congresswoman Clark spoke to Mark Benchtrop, Anil suddenly figured that there's another side to the story. How did you figure out there's another side, Anil? How do you know what Melissa said? And what was her side? I told you all that there would be quid pro quo, which is I give you something and you give me something. That's an exchange. Anil now has said. So you have Melissa and Atwell situation. Melissa began to show support for the work that Azuddin Mohammed is doing. She began to highlight that Azuddin Mohammed is actually a political threat to the PPP. Watch this. Although he has not announced that he's running for any political office. Guyanese critic who was denied a visa was suddenly given one to head to Washington to do what? Do you understand that the US has what is called a whistleblower policy? And that they can give you a special visa to enter the United States to give them information on people? What was his role? Was that his role? I'm asking a question. Did they send him with any information? Because let's not forget that somebody popped out of the blue and she was crying that Melissa Ann Atwell was involved in credit card fraud. Then I made you idiots aware that ICE doesn't hold you for credit card fraud because that's a criminal offense. And you have to first be tried according to the court of law. You have to be charged. You have to be sentenced. And then when your sentence is completed or the penalty, then you're deported. But somebody, much to the surprise of Melissa, was saying, oh, and she, of course, trying to cry and said that you know they started credit cards, open accounts and so on in her name, and they tried it. And some moronic person believes that you can commit credit card fraud in the USA, and ICE will just hold you and send you home. Can you believe that? You can commit, so you could rob people of their money, and of all places, the USA will just say, you know what, go home. Like what Granger did with the PPP people. You have a $1 billion in your account, just go home. You can account for $4 billion for cable that's supposed we paid you to run. You know what? Just stay home. $650 million you can't account for. Go home. You know that's your penalty, your punishment. Just go home and let's leave the matter as it is. Can you imagine that? Now, Azuddin Mohammed, this idiot named Parmesan cheese. I wouldn't even pay attention after I post a comment here. The federal said credit card fraud is a felony. Look at this. It's not a criminal offense. So it's not a crime to commit fraud in the USA. This boy is a PPP manufactured donkey. And that's what you have to deal with. This level of idiocy. Can you believe that? Somebody from the PPP's camp, this fool is saying that credit card fraud is a felony. It is not a criminal offense. Would you believe somebody from Jabio's camp will say that? You should. Because that's how stupid these people are, that committing fraud is actually legal in the USA. It's not a crime. But yet you're arrested. You tried in the court of law and you're given prison sentences for committing credit card fraud. But this idiot is saying it's not a criminal offense. I would not even waste my time as such a retard. He's an intellectual dwarf, and they're the only people who can be PPP trolls. The only persons who can function as a troll in the PPP are people who cannot reason. They are intellectual dwarfs. Now, would you believe, can you believe that the PPP, the person who's paid to be the attorney general, is saying that Melissa spoke to Clark, Ben Stropp spoke to Clark, but they didn't hear the other side of the story. What is the other side of the story? Oh, that she paid people. Now I want y'all to see what happened. Melissa began to show support, as I said, for Muhammad, and she spoke to the work they were doing in Guyana and so on. And she began to hint about the power that he has to really bring the PPP down politically. Oh, suddenly, Melissa and Atwell became worthy of being arrested or detained, I should say, by ICE. Suddenly, Melissa and Atwell became eligible to be on the radar of the USA. Then suddenly, the Mohammeds were accused of tax evasion in reference to the vehicles. May I inform you that when you import any vehicle in this country, GRA will inspect the same and they will determine the value of the same. Thereafter, you should pay the necessary duties or taxes. And if it's duty free, you won't pay any duty, but you'll pay the necessary freight and whatever you have to pay for the same. The importer does not value the vehicle. GRA has a system of assessing the vehicle. And they will say that based on their assessment, this is what it costs. Oh, they did that. The vehicles have got license plate numbers. Who issues license plates in this country? The Mohammeds or GRA? Who issues license plates in this country? And 4 years after, they discovered that the vehicles were undervalued. Further, the Mohammeds were sanctioned by the US Treasury Department along with a permanent secretary from the Ministry of Home Affairs called MAE-THOMAS. Don't forget that. There's a fellow from Essequibo who was also sanctioned, another PP supporter, by the way, by the USA, was he not? The lady MAE-THOMAS, that's what I'm asking if she's okay tonight. MAE-THOMAS was numbered according to the US's sanction, the document, and the details thereof, that she is one of the government officials. Now, I told you the PPP do not normally have sensible people in there, but most of the time. There are very few individuals who remain in the PPP that can read properly and have any degree of sense. And because they may have Bart or whoever may have secrets for them, or they have contracts awarded to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars, not a $12 million contract like a road that I got from the Ministry of Works. They have special arrangements made. Do you remember? I'm going back and forth for a reason here. The lady who's testifying today, she was cross-examined, Rasul, said that they received 4 diplomatic passports and she got a special position that was not advertised. She was no predecessor. After she said, "Oh yes, she's one of the chamber, the business people who would have been assessing the American Chamber people who would have been assessing the election cycle process of 2020, and she's one who was on the PPP side, by the way, and she got a special. She was called and offered a job after they said the elections are fair and free. Now she's saying that she was in a room with people for over 2 hours, and they had pens and pencils with statements of poll, and no GCOM official was in the room. That woman's nobody from the opposition was the government was in the room. Would you believe that? That woman said that after that process, she was called and offered a job, and she received four. They received four diplomatic passports. Meaning now you are an agent of the state with the power to travel as though you are legit. You're a diplomat. Special privileges must be afforded you. So when we jump to the Muhammad situation, a government official named MAE-THOMAS was sanctioned. Among other officials, she was named as one who is corrupt. But they said they were government officials who received bribes, not one person. Anna said that Melissa told things about untrue about innocent people. Melissa said that $15 million were deposited in the police credit union. Higgins said it wasn't true. Did we see the receipt to prove that it was so? Y'all please send me the truth on this broadcast. Don't Parmesan cheese. He stinks like Parmesan cheese. Forget about him. Can you tell me whether it was true? Melissa spoke to corruption at Central Housing Planning Authority. Was that true? Anna said she told things that were not true. Let's just leave it the one. The one. Was there a deposit of $15 million made to the police credit union? That Higgins said was not so. And then he said he went to pay, I think it was $9 million. It was some gift he went to pay for, some hall he went to pay for. You remember that? But Melissa was lying, said they. He spoke even to the MAE-THOMAS situation. Oh, but it wasn't true. So why would the US sanction MAE-THOMAS if the things Melissa would have been saying would have been untrue? She spoke to bribery, which is corruption being rife among administrators or government officials. The USA said the government officials were corrupt. I want you all to hear this. I'll play it now.
Data, documents, whatever you wish to call it, to proceed to act upon it. GRA, I suppose, will act upon the allegations of tax evasion. The the Guyana Police Force, through its appropriate departments, will act upon other aspects of the data or evidence which they feel presents an opportunity to activate certain processes. So that will take place shortly. There have been a process ongoing for several months now, and we have made that public. And that process have thus far yielded a sufficient volume of information that the tax authorities feel and the law enforcement agencies in Guyana feel provide sufficient basis for them to begin their statutory processes. I cannot speak for the law enforcement agencies nor the Guyana Revenue Authority, but I have no doubt that their approach will be one that would be objective and would be evidence driven. I have no reason to think otherwise.
And you would repeat that's
I hope that you heard what Anil Nandlal said. That GRA is going to act. The Guyana Police Force, they're going to act. Did we hear about MAE-THOMAS evading taxes? Or this is just the Mohammeds who are sanctioned here? Did we hear that they were government officials? Did we read about that from the US Treasury Department? That they're government officials, along with MAE-THOMAS, who were involved in being corrupt. Oh, so all that Anil could hear about is the Mohammeds. And all the GRA has to focus on would be the Mohammeds. And that they would have evaded taxes for about 10,000 kilograms of gold. Do you know that's about 50 or more billion Ghana dollars? ExxonMobil is paying no tax. And they make that kind of money within maybe 2 months, if possible, depending on how the oil is flowing and the price is the oil. ExxonMobil is paying zero tax. None of the officials pay taxes in Guyana. The company doesn't pay tax in Guyana. The United States of America rape nations of their resources, and they don't pay them anything. I am not saying that if the Mohammeds evaded taxes, they should not be dealt with. What I'm saying is that the people who should be paying the most taxes in this country are those who rob us of our resources. We have got we have got a counter law, an entity called the Integrity Commission. And every government official, from the permanent secretaries, ministers in the cabinet, parliamentary officials, you have to declare your assets to the Integrity Commission. Have you ever, at any time, seen the Integrity Commission publish or tell you that Jagdeo paid his taxes? That Anil paid his taxes? Did they ever publish their assets? Because we are supposed to know what every official would have done. The PNC, APNU, agreed that Exxon must pay nothing to us as a people, and we get 2% royalty. And when they finish calculating all the expenses, we get 50% of the profit. And as soon as Azadin began to operate as if he's a threat to the PPP their political ambitions, he suddenly owes $900 million to GRA. Then now it's $50 billion in taxes. The US said that he evaded. But in all of this, somebody named MAE-THOMAS, her name is not being mentioned. She sits as a member of the Central Executive Committee. That's the highest ranking body in the PPP administration. That woman, sanctioned woman, is sitting at the Central Executive level as a leader of the PPP. And you can't talk about that person because the PPP could have a sanctioned woman, according to what they call Mohammed Sanction Man, leading the party, who was sanctioned because of her connection to the Mohammeds. That's what the US said. What do you see the Chinese paying here? We have got over 150 supermarkets popping up and more in Linden. In Linden, when you travel along the Amelia's Ward Hill, you climb up to Well Road and you begin to drive on the PPP people are giving Chinese massive areas of land. Javio said he cannot discriminate while Chinese supermarkets are killing local businesses. He can't discriminate. So he should watch his Guyanese people suffer. Oh, did you hear what Rubio said? Did you? Oh, I'm bad. Remember, I'm a mad person and I'm a false prophet. But Marco Rubio came here and said that the Chinese built the roads. Did they? You all tell me, please, which road did Marco Rubio ride in today? Which road did they take for Marco Rubio to get back to the airport? I want somebody to type it, please. Did Marco Rubio travel on the Heroes Highway today? You all please type that for me right now. Did Marco Rubio travel on the Heroes Highway today? Please type that. The PPP are destroying themselves and they don't recognize what they're doing. Jagdio is going to cause you, he told you in 2015 he made you lose. This time around, he will cause your party to be annihilated. Did Marco Rubio travel on the Heroes Highway today? Because he said he almost suffered a concussion. Okay, y'all sit tight. Can you tell me, y'all tell me here, which Chinese company built the Heroes Highway? None. Do you hear me? No Chinese company built the Heroes Highway. That's a PPP supporter who built the Heroes Highway. Do y'all hear me? And Rubio said that the Chinese built the Heroes Highway. So who was lying? This fella, please tag the US Embassy. Tag the US Embassy, tag the US State Department, tag them to show how lying these people are. To the connections of the dots here. And you want to tell me the PPP would tell the truth about Melissa? If they could lie about who built a road, what would they not lie about? Did I not tell you all? Did I not tell you that the Chinese have got contracts? China Railway Corporation, they now called it, listen, they now called it Caribbean because China Railway Company has been sanctioned by the USA. Oh, the Mohammeds were sanctioned, MAE-THOMAS is sanctioned, and China Railway Corporation has been sanctioned. So they just add another thing to the name called Caribbean. They built, not the Heroes Highway. Junior Sammy, he's a Chinese. Is Junior Sammy a Chinese? That's Trinidadian. And Rubio at a press conference said that the Chinese built this road that almost gave him a concussion. One of the worst built roads in this country. May I inform you that concrete roads are never supposed to be wavy because it is easier to work than asphalt. It is stronger than asphalt. So there's no way that a road built with concrete is supposed to be wavy. But these people do not build roads in layers as they should be. They put sand and then concrete. And Jagdio administration allowed that to happen. China Railway Corporation, Caribbean, is building the new Demerara Harbor Bridge, a company whose parent has been sanctioned. Tell me if I'm wrong, and I'll correct my statement. But I find it strange you have the same name, China Railway Corporation, Caribbean, and you're working in Guyana. They're building the Wisma Mackenzie Bridge, and I'll leave it to you fun and your nonsensical foolishness, and you figure getting it live from me tomorrow, Yahweh willing. About you agree if no fees must be paid in the bridge. Oh, Figueroa, don't sleep. You'll have a long day tomorrow with me. They're building the road at the East Coast Road, Mahika, that can be finished. And I ask questions. Barrett Jagdio, do you have any shares in China Railway Corporation? I'm asking a straightforward question here. Because that's the only road I know that has taken donkey's years to finish, and you don't know what they're building. There's no architectural plan for that road to be built. They just got to, do this, do that, do this. Where's Parmesan cheese? We want to know if you have any shares in this company because the Integrity Commission is supposed to have that information. But Rubio had to come to tell you all that the Chinese building everything. Oh, I was mad when I told you that there's a problem here. I told the US Republicans love money. Republicans will never accept that Chinese are in this country making all the money. They will never. You think Jagdi have an easy day with Rubio and Donald Trump? They will now have to bring US companies to build roads and certain infrastructure. And the quality of those roads would have to be, you heard it, Rubio told y'all, that people would sue you if you build that in the USA. I could sue y'all for the nonsense you're doing on the Suicide Highway. Foolishness. Because the PPP is doing a business. They're not running the country. While I'm at it, the Mamas are not suddenly become so terrible. Do you all have evidence? Okay. Guyana receives, according to news source Gordon Mosley's company, information on US sanctions against the Mohammeds and MAE-THOMAS. Files handed over to police and GRA. Rubio came, right? And the files are handed over. Look on your screen. But all Anil could talk about is, or hint at, would be the Mohammeds. While this woman remains on the Central Executive Committee and she has not resigned forthwith. This woman remains a key member of the PPP's leadership. But T. Mohammeds are the criminals in this situation. And MAE-THOMAS is good enough to serve in the PPP still. Is she still receiving a salary? Is she still receiving any money from the PPP or from the Treasury? If she receives $1 from the Treasury, or if she goes to any bank account with Jagdi's reasoning, then she's also committing a criminal act. Are you all entertaining it? And Guyanese, you all want to sit back at this time here and allow these criminals to just get away with murder? Huh? What is the opposition doing? Or Grace is telling you all you can't act still. If MAE-THOMAS is still receiving a salary, that warrants major protests across this country. Don't sleep yet. Y'all is go to work late tomorrow, but let's talk. Because our country is in peril. Is Nigel Dharamlal receiving any money from the government still, although he resigned from being a minister of local government? Since you want to talk, Anil, that the police will do their job, the police will come and act. Let me just play this before I go to the other part. Let me find this boy again. Because I only know man from he's a boy.
Data, documents, whatever you wish to call it, to proceed to act upon it. GRA, I suppose, will act upon the allegations of tax evasion. The the Guyana Police Force, through its appropriate departments, will act upon other aspects of the data or evidence which they feel presents an opportunity.
Oh, so the police will act upon allegations. When the little girl alleged, when the little girl was examined or interviewed in what's called a forensic interview, which is a very thorough interview. It's scientific in nature, so you cannot play around with that. By the Blossom Foundation, again, Melly Miller was involved. When the girl said that she was buggered until she bled, by Darmlal that is, did the police act according to the law and have him arrested immediately? No. Did the police act according to law and file necessary charges according to the law? The Sexual Offences Act that Priya chancelled in Parliament to read. Did the police act? And have said that now we have evidence from the USA, the police will act. So did the police act when a young Guyanese girl said that she was raped by a sitting minister? Did the police act? Did he spend 1 minute in a court of law? The young girl at the end, the DPP, Shalimar Ali Haq, said that the girl's parents came and said she doesn't want any further action, which means she asked action to be taken in the first place. How many minutes did Darnell spend in the lockup? Was he handcuffed? Oh, but the police could act now with the Mohammeds, and they can't act. So MAE-THOMAS, huh? So our political leaders will sit back here and have Jagdi and others play around with Mohammed's lives. Does y'all tell me here again? Like Melissa, y'all gonna sit around and have these people play around these people's lives? What goes for one goes for all. That's my policy. I don't defend people, I defend principle. If Jamlal could not be in jail for 2 minutes, Azudin didn't go anywhere for 2 minutes. Because Azudin, hold on, let me show you. Azudin wasn't bad. Was he bad here? Huh? Oh, some PPP people, can you recognize the lady on the left? Because she's quite different now. Was he bad here? When he paid $50,000 for critic getting in the boat ride, the $50,000 per ticket, was he bad here? Huh? When he bought how many tickets to support her in her so-called venture to help with the poor, was he bad there? Was he not smuggling gold here? Was he not evading taxes here? Was he not smuggling tens of thousands of kilograms, 2.2 pounds like a kilogram, so over 20,000 pounds of gold when he was holding her? The wife of a finale. Oh, but now that he's going to PvP's areas and he's talking to people and he's become obviously an opponent of theirs, he suddenly has to answer to the police force. So what was he, who he answered to here? This is not going to go down like that. Nobody's going to become a bad person to the people because you suddenly disagree with them. Nonsense. If from you come and talk, why your wife holding a man who smuggled 10,000 kilograms of gold according to what the US said? Why your wife holding a man who they said is rape people? Why is she holding a man who they said is a murderer? That's the kind of people your wife deals with. I guess it was like she cock up a leg and was bouncing around the place on the boat cruiser. As a first lady, no decorum whatsoever, no class. You've never seen a first lady doing nonsense. What first lady? You have to first be a lady to be a first lady in this country. Bend over and whining. Have you ever seen Viola Burnham do that? Have you ever seen Janet Jackson do that? Have you ever seen even Ramata White do that? Have you seen Sandra Granger do that? No, but this one could cock up leg and whine. Because that's what you people are. You lack decorum, you lack class. And anybody get you mad, you could behave as if you're an absolute moron. Oh, he's now a bad person? He's now a bad person? when he was driving the vehicles or his people to protect you all according to what he said, and we saw it because you stepped out of an F-150 truck or a Raptor to go to Arthurton Convention Center to be sworn in. You and him. Was he not smuggling gold then? According to what you all said. Come for me. Come for me, Eve Leary. I tell him if you're any day of the week. Because you have to tell me in a court law where I said it was wrong, or you would need to kill me before I talk. I was told in 2020, me, that if I remain an activist, the people will do nothing to me. But if I ever say I'm going to enter into the race called politics of governance, then we treat you differently. That's a threat. And that's what they told Azuddin, that you are free to help anybody. But if you attack the PPP, we will attack you. That's the kind of criminals you have in this country, call themselves political party. Tonight is your night. Was she sanctioned? This one, Jafar Ali, was she sanctioned for hitting an African man in the face? She could slap a man because he's standing with Asad Muhammad. She could slap a. Listen, y'all please inform this lady here, Indira Jafar Ali, about what is called an upturn fraction. Because this stupidness has happened. And again, the opposition leader can't even defend his own people. And this man got arrested. Azuddin Mohammed spoke about this yesterday or today and said this is nonsense. Oh, so once he began to talk, once he began to address these critical matters here, he's now an enemy of the state. So the police have to take action. Did the police take action when the fella knocked the man and kill him? Knock him and kill him? And he paid bail and never paid before court, the one in Region 6? Did the police take action in that situation? Did the police take action when the man went into the station by Providence? Pulled a gun on a man in the station when the one son did it. Pulled his gun in the station, not on the road. Pulled a weapon and police ducking under the table. Did they charge him? That's a criminal act. And he didn't spend 1 minute in jail. It was Azuddin, you have to take action. Well, we will take action. And I don't defend people. And don't tell me nonsense about, oh, this PP friends having a problem here. This goes beyond that. He's Guyanese. And every guy needs to be treated with respect in my country. I'm not playing with you all this nonsense. You mean to tell me that 19 fraud charges, Ali, who the court said there was enough evidence, since you want to use the word Anil, to have him stand trial. Ali had to save him again because he turned president. You telling me that he could leave Guyana when Canada told him, don't come here because you're 19 fraud charges, don't come, because he was sanctioned by Canada. He wasn't sanctioned in reference to a document, probably. He was sanctioned by advice. Don't show up here because you'll not be allowed to come to this country. That's a sanction. Ali Haq said, no, now you're president, 19 front charges are just discontinued. Now you saying to me, now you're telling me that Azuddin Mohammed deserves to experience the brunt, not blunt, it's called brunt, the brunt of attacks by the use of state agencies? Hell no. I would that political agents in this country arise and do what you paid for. I would say this tonight, that I would not be surprised if suddenly the US could find information to say, you know what, extradite the Mohammeds. Just understand that. If the PPP can say, oh yeah, yeah, there were connections there and he was doing some illegal business in the US, so we'll extradite him. Because once he's extradited, once he's sent to the USA, he cannot participate in elections as a political leader. So he can't form a party. He cannot lead. I'm telling you what you all would like to do to Mohammed. I know you all well. So there's a quid pro quo. Send us Melimel, we send you Azuddin. We regain control of our stronghold. Oh, you think so? Guyanese have proven that they love Azuddin because of what he's doing. That's what your supporters are showing you. They're asking him in great numbers to lead them. And they said they don't want to be with y'all anymore. You think it makes sense to you, Barrett and Anil? I would never ask if anything makes sense then. Barrett, you think it makes sense to you to provoke people in your area who support and love Azuddin? You forgot Bath settlement? No, these are not PNC strongholds. So when election time, the police were chased out with stones and they couldn't shoot anybody. Let us see if you always shoot people in your areas now if they go to fight for Azuddin. How it will be beautiful to see how you choose with your own supporters who will definitely fight you if you only touch that boy. Let us see, man. Let's see what you do to your own people. You would likely create an environment as a deal with USA. MAE-THOMAS, let me close with you. You would learn, like what's his name from the police force, you would learn that once you are not deemed an East Indian in the PPP, you are fair game. You learn that. You're gonna learn it now. You'll understand where you will listen to these people's book. You will learn. Even if they have to extradite you, they will send you packing with the Mohammeds because you have no value to the PPP. If all you have, dear heart, is information on who the other corrupt officials are, they'll keep you here because if they send you over there, it's over. But let's not forget what Azuddin said. Azuddin said that there are many things he has to speak because he and his father financed your campaign, man. But you don't have sense. He said that when y'all wanted to go up the East Coast during the election story, he had to accompany y'all. We know how close Azuddin would have been to y'all. He's well aware of the workings and dealings of you people. You take the risk of sending him over there. And you'll understand that the US doesn't have friends, they have interests. The US protects their interests. And it was horrifying to see this. We have a responsibility to our friends, said Irfan Ali. The United States is a great friend of ours. I would say very boldly that such friends must have a different must have different and preferential treatment because a friend that will defend me when I need it must be a friend that enjoys a special place in our hearts and country. Irfan said that because Rubio said that Venezuela had better not attack Guyana. What's this? And ExxonMobil or any other interest. Rubio said that Guyana is the place to be. And under this administration, with their vision, things will go well. So Rubio came here as the Secretary of State and is lobbying for the PPP to win because lobbyists are paid to do what Rubio, to talk to Rubio so you can come and see what he said. The PPP are using our taxpaying money to pay US lobbyists for Rubio to come in and say that he supports the PPP going back into office. And he also supports the PPP prosecuting, and terrorizing people who are against them. Irfan said that the US deserves preferential treatment. Well, Irfan boy, Jaggi isn't given a preferential treatment because Chinese have the most supermarkets in this country right now.
Chinese are building the most mega projects. The Linden High Bridge, Wisdom Mackenzie Bridge, Chinese building it. The same company, they're building the Demaran Harbor Bridge. 256 million US dollars. One company got 200 plus million dollars they got to build or whatever it is for whatever million it is. I can't remember the figure here for Linden. Y'all give Chinese it. East Coast Road. Chinese got some of the very refuse to use Guyanese truck drivers. These people have brought their own yellow trucks and they're driving to transport stone and sand. Chinese have refused to allow Guyanese drivers to transport sand and stone for the road on the East Coast. And Jaguar did nothing about that. Truck drivers are suffering. And when the Chinese go to the quarry, they have to get sold first because Chinese run the quarry. There is no Guyanese, especially none look like me, who works at that quarry. At least the last I checked. None of them. Where's Parmesan cheese? That imbecile. Only one troll came out tonight. You need to, three more y'all need to come out and eat some grass. Look at the hell that we're dealing with. Listen to me. Yahweh is angry at the wicked every day. PPP, your wickedness, your wickedness, your wickedness is beyond the norm. Orby Norton, all political groups. This may sound strange coming from me, but I'll tell you all this with hands down. This is a critical time for all political parties to coalesce, get together, coalesce for the purpose of dealing with this wicked cabal who now have got the USA, Rubio, supporting their foolishness. Chinese were working the airport. You all remember that? You remember the Chinese also had the airport contract, right? Okay. Coalescing is important. We must coalesce now because the USA, this is unheard of. A person who is the Secretary of State responsible for all diplomatic relations across the world between the US and other nations would have said that they support the PPP when we have so much evidence of fraud. Melissa lied. One man decided he would write off 213 or 11 million Guyana dollars. Did you hear me? 211 million Guyana dollars. He just wrote US dollars, as a matter of fact. He just wrote it off. Exxon know how to pay that. Just pay 3 million US dollars. Out of 214, he said just pay 3. And Jaguar said, all you have will be 2 weeks of no paid leave, no paid suspension. Melissa lied about that too. Did Melly Mel lie about that too? We must listen to me. I don't, at this juncture here, I don't have time to focus on nonsense. I'm making an appeal to y'all. Let's arrange a special meeting of all opposition parties entering this electoral period. We have to sit and talk. Get over egos. We have to sit and have a conversation to rescue our nation. And may I inform you, APNU AFC said, don't feel you can tell me, you're going to say to me that if you were to win the election, you're going to just tell Barra, them go home, this one go home, you go home. Listen to me. All hell will break loose again. There's no go home politics with me, y'all. So if you know among you have those who, like what I know, got major land and all that once elections are over, you better deal with it now. So you will say to me that we need the US. Because if we don't have the US on our side, Maduro is going to do what he wants. Maduro will not do what he wants. Because I would like to submit to you, first of all, that Maduro's issue lies with Ali being what he said, a puppet of the USA. That's his issue. That's what Maduro said. Maduro's issue lies with the fact that ExxonMobil is extracting light crude. The best oil in the world is found in Guyana. And Exxon is taking it and giving us 2% royalty. 2%, not 20%. 2. Maduro is upset that ExxonMobil is making so much money. Listen to me. But China has got 30% in this whole oil extraction process. If you didn't know now, you know. So China will not allow Maduro to do anything to Guyana either because it's their interest. Further, may I say to you all that even if we were to turn against US and say we're not dealing with you all, let me help you with this. Because of ExxonMobil, they will have to protect Essequibo. The US doesn't care about Guyana. Republicans love oil. I told you last week. Republicans love money. And as long as Maduro thinks he could be crazy to attack or try to stop Exxon, the US will annihilate Venezuela. They will assassinate Maduro if they have to, because you're not going to stop Exxon from getting money. You would not stop Exxon. No, Guyana. May I inform you, sir, Irfan, who said the US is your friend, that if tomorrow Maduro calls Trump and say, listen to me, we prepared to sell you all oil, or for 3 years, just take oil 1 million barrels a month. You don't have to pay for it. Tomorrow, Trump will tell you, give up Essequibo. Mark my word. You can learn the hard way. The US is your friend. So your friend, Irfan, went to a Muslim nation. Irfan, you're Muslim. You're supposed to be Muslim. You and your friend went to the Muslim nation saying that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. They bombed and killed thousands upon thousands of Iraqis. Then said it's a mistake. He didn't have any weapons of mass destruction. He made a mistake. Your friend did that. Your friends, Irfan, decided that it's okay. No problem. It's perfectly fine to inject people, African people, with diseases under the guise of just giving them some vitamins and stuff like that. Syphilis, to see how we respond to it and kill them by the thousands. Your friends, Irfan, went to Bikini Atoll to test a bomb, an atomic bomb. Your friends, Irfan, told the people just a little test, just test something in the water. Didn't tell them it was radioactive. And now the people in Bikini Atoll are, most of them, barren and sterile. Your friends, Irfan, did that. Your friends, Irfan, went to Haiti. Your friends. After the French, your friends went into Haiti and said, we own this place. To try to take away the gold from the black man. Your friends did that. Your friends, Irfan, your friends, Irfan Ali, went to Libya where your Muslim brother, Muammar Gaddafi, was trying to have a one African currency, to not use the US dollar anymore. Your friends, Obama and them, murder that man, or all have been killed by his people. And then bombs the hell out of Syria. Your friends. Your friends, Irfan Ali, took and are taking our oil every day and are telling you that if they have 6 fields or wells that they're extracting oil from, well number one, if they spend $10 million US in well number one. They have the right to attach that cost to well number six. They don't know what's called ring fencing, which is to attach where you keep the cost of one well, the operating cost, to this place. So they can shift around the costing and say, well, we have not yet recovered the cost of oil from well number one. We're going to put it in well number six. Your friends are doing that. Your friends, Irfan, have still shown us, Irfan Ali, that African descendants and Muslims are not worthy of respect in the nation. Your friends. Your friends are supporting the bombing of your Muslim people in Palestine. Like you seem to forget. You said that you're against Israel bombing people and killing the Palestinians because they're Muslim brothers and sisters. When you're Irfan were friend, when you Azuddin were okay, you said that. But you called the man your friend. You, let me put it back on the screen. You, Irfan, said the people are your friends. You. Look at you. You said we have a responsibility to our friends. Irfan, you said that. And your friends are bombing and killing Palestinians. Your friends, Irfan, are starving Palestinian children, stopping them from having water and treatment. Your friends are supporting that. And even in the month of Ramadan, the holiest month of the year, you would call the US your friend when they do that to your own people in Palestine. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Do you not feel as if you're a disgrace to your own people? Now, Anil Nandalal, a Hindu, is arising to castigate, chastise, and through the state, apparently based on what he's saying here, they will allow your brother to suffer like this. You could talk about Palestine, but you can't talk about Muhammad. So when the Palestinians descended that night and killed 200 plus, the most Israelis ever killed in one night, I think the 2,000, whatever number it was, in one day, one moment. And Israel responded by slaughtering them. You said Israel was wrong. But now you can't speak up for your own brother. When Omai was here, did they smuggle any gold out of Guyana? Can you answer me, please? Do you at this moment, Irfan Ali, have Jagir said it, so don't answer like as if you don't have sense. Barrett admitted that we have no power to monitor Exxon's extraction of our oil. So you want to talk about Mohammed? US one said that he and his father illegally exported 10,000 kilograms of gold. You don't even know how much oil Exxon has extracted because you can't go and check it yourself. That's how disgraceful you all are. Imagine Exxon could extract like Bosai, and you don't have any means of checking yourself. I'll leave Bosai another day. You don't have the power to check for yourself. Oh, so US could tell you that Mohammed's illegally exported 10,000 kilograms of gold to evade taxes. But they can't tell you what Exxon is extracting every day. Exxon say, listen, we did 1 million barrels last month. Oh, okay, that's fine. Exxon will tell you, oh, on this pair of pliers, we spent pair of pliers that cost $2,000. Oh, we spent 2,000 US dollars in the pliers. You say, yeah, we have to pay. Ghana will pay for that because you have to, of course, offset all expenses. You have no sense to lead this country. The PPP cannot even run a Pylori stand. You can't sell egg ball. If you, Irfan, could lift home and tell you that egg ball in a case, in a little glass case, is 24 inches wide, 60 centimeters wide, and 30 centimeters high, costs $2 million. You can't sell egg ball to save your life. And you want to run the country? When Ruby has to come and insult you all about the stupid road that you all call Heroes Highway? The PPP are a disgrace. You have a minister of home affairs who has responsibility for protection to some degree of our nation, who told people they must shoot and hide and run, scoot. If Venezuela come across the border, shoot and run and duck. That's how stupid you people are. Imagine that Fobbs Bonner never told him about shoot and scoot. Bonham said every guy is a soldier. You now, under your watch, I told you that you'll be the most embarrassing leader. Jag will ensure that you are on record for being the worst leader in this nation, and you already have exceeded his expectation. Irfan, I have nothing personal against you, and this may sound strange to you. And as much as your feelings may be hurt and soft, you are paid by us taxpayers. I have right to tell you how I feel about you. But it's not, I will see you tomorrow and talk to you as normally, Zev, because it's nothing personal against me. And that's what people understand with me. There is nothing personal between me and you, me and Barrett, and any one of y'all. Priya, my girl, none of you. There's nothing personal between me and y'all. I have a problem with what you're doing to my country. I have a problem with how Norton and others are quiet in the face of you. What does it take for you to act? And a young man named Azuddin Mohammed has stepped forward to say that he's going to try to listen to Guyanese issues. He's going to try to hear their problems and from his own resource spend it. And now you have Irfan. Anil and those talking to the police will now go and try, and GR will try to take away from what this man is trying to help the Guyanese populace to receive. How much has Exxon built in reference to houses for the poor people in this country? Can you tell us, please? Because Azuddin built many houses for people from his pocket. Can you tell us how much money Exxon gives to you all to build houses for people in this country? Look at that chicken pen that Susan Rajik stood and said that these are core homes. Huh? The cost of living in this country is so high, if and you won't understand because you spend our money on your clothes and all of that. You don't understand me talking about anymore. There are some people. Only today, a young man told me he has nothing to eat. Nothing in an oil rich nation. The $100,000 finish. But you could sit around and enjoy yourself and live like a fat cat on our backs. And Susan could show us a little chicken pen. Show us your house or one of your many, Susan Rodriguez, if you have more. You show us where you live and show us the size of your home. And then go to the core home and show us what you tell Guyanese is good for them. I built a little awning in front of my house, a porch, as a matter of fact. But I'm looking at it now, it's about 10 feet wide by 5, somewhere around there. And it cost me close to $250,000. Mind you, I'm working myself, having other people work along with me just to help me out. And that simple project ran me into $250,000 easily. And you are telling people that this country is okay? You want to attack Azuddin? Where is me? Where is MAE-THOMAS in all of this? Let me make this clear as I depart, because it's pretty late for me right now. If the police goes to Azuddin Mohammed at any time, you had better let us see MAE-THOMAS in the same vehicle, right beside him. If the police put Azuddin Mohammed or Shell Mohammed Nazir in any cell, you had better let me see Organi C, MAE-THOMAS beside them, and the other officials, plural, who were also deemed corrupt. Further, any evidence that you receive from a foreign nation about our people, we have a right to know it. It's not classified. Because if they defrauded the Guyana Revenue Authority, it means it's our business. It's not a PPP business. The GRA, the Guyana Revenue Authority, they didn't do the investigation. The US sent you all a contract, said evidence. We have to see because we pay MAE-THOMAS when she's PS at Foreign Affairs. And we are still paying her if we're giving her any money. And I would love for the US Embassy to get involved. The US Embassy must know whether you're still giving MAE-THOMAS money. But with the likes of Rubio, a very dishonest creature, let's not forget who he is. He would do anything, like Pompeo, to get anything. It's called whoredom. And I don't respect them. I will never respect these people. I wish you well, Guyanese brothers and sisters who deserve to be wished well. You criminals must be brought to justice. Do well until we meet again. And I thank you for your time. Do well, brothers and sisters.